ready for that men's heat? Ready?
Yeah, they're expensive. You know, if you rent one, you know, it costs a lot of money, like $20. So.
Well, I mean, I figure if I'm safe, if I protect myself and I'm safe at skiing, then why wear a helmet? I don't need one if I don't, you know, I'm not a reckless skier or anything.
I just wanted to give you a little background into why I came to Missoula to practice medicine. There's a lot of reasons to move to Missoula and to live in this beautiful town, but one of the main reasons was because of the outdoor sports. Can I ask a question? How many people in the room here are skiers? Okay, and how many right now wear a helmet? This is Dr. Greg Cosme, who's an emergency room physician. He's a close friend of mine as well as a colleague and also a ski enthusiast. And Greg's here to help us sort out this issue about wearing helmets to prevent head injury.
It seems people are trying more outlandish, more like risky type of skiing.
I think for sure with the recent development of people, with the terrain parks and the jumps and all that kind of stuff, yeah, there's definitely been an increase in head injuries from that type of either boarding or skiing.
Is there the same need for helmet in skiing and snowboarding?
Yeah, I would say absolutely, especially snowboarding. Do you snowboard? I've done it a few times, and I'm amazed about how much your vision is affected just by snowboarding.
What are the best type of helmets to get for skiing?
It's one you'll wear, and what I mean by that really is, you got to have one that when you put it on your head, it feels comfortable to you, and you like the way it looks, and then you like the way your goggles fit under it, and or on it. And so that's what I would say the best helmet is one that you'll put on your head and that you'll leave on all day.
I've always thought that maybe little kids or new beginners and then maybe people going off aerials and stuff like that should wear helmets, but why should anybody who's just like pleasure skiing or doing anything like that, why should they wear a helmet?
One of the things that I think that you need to consider if you're not an adventure skier or a fast skier is there are other skiers out there that are. And oftentimes, there are accidents that occur that aren't your fault. And just like when you're driving a car, you're going to wear your seatbelt even if you're the safest driver in the world. I think it's a good idea to protect yourself from the other folks on the slope.
If you look at the people who get killed skiing, they kind of fall into two categories. I mean, we're taking the most extreme thing, getting killed skiing, right? That doesn't happen very often, aside from being buried in an avalanche. They're either people who are really good skiers who have never probably injured themselves very badly, who just that one time miss a turn and smack a tree, and they die of head injuries. That's what kills them.
If everybody was provided with a free helmet, would you wear it? How many? Let's just raise your hand. I would. Oh, that's good. How's it going, guys?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
I don't know if you remember me. I'm Dr. Phil Gardner, and I'm going to be skiing with you today.
Great.
That's cool.
And looks like it's going to be a beautiful day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
does.
really nice out.
Awesome.
I got you something.
Really?
This is a
Awesome.
ski helmet, and I want you to try it out today and see how it goes.
Definitely cool.
Pretty stylish.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I want you to see how it feels and see how you feel with it, you know, whether it feels safe and how comfortable it is for you
It's
today.
good. It's really comfortable.
I got one in stylish red for you, Ben.
Hey, that's cool.
Check that out.
Racing red. Oh, it is really light. It's comfortable too.
Let's
Great,
hit the slopes.
thanks. Yeah, see you on the slope.
All right. That was fun. So what'd you think of those helmets?
I really liked it. I think
Me
it worked
too.
great.
Excellent. Was it comfortable?
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent.
They're
Yeah,
awesome.
nice and warm too.
Great.
You're
Well, you know, I really appreciate you trying them out.
Yeah.
And these are your helmets, so take them with you and use
All
them.
right.
I want to read an article from the Missoulian last week that really hit home what we're trying to do here today. It's titled, "A Skier Dies After an Accident at Big Sky." A 59-year-old man died of head injuries suffered when he collided with a 17-year-old boy while skiing at Big Sky Resort in Madison County. The man died Saturday at St. Vincent's Hospital in Billings, and the boy also suffered head injuries and is listed in stable condition Monday at Deaconess Hospital in Bozeman.
Initially what would happen is you probably get life flighted in here, meaning brought in by a helicopter, because that's usually how the patients arrive who are severely injured. When you came in through the emergency department, we would, check you all out and see if you had any other injuries, because frequently when people do have brain injuries, they have also injured other parts of their body. This is a friend of mine. His name is Dr. Day. He's a
Hi, how are you?
Good,
Nice to meet you.
Dr. Day's a neurosurgeon, and he would be taking care of you if you injured your brain. So Cammie, earlier we talked about it when you first came into the emergency department that we would assess you to see what your injuries were, and in that process, Dr. Day would be there as well, and we would take you to the CAT scan, and if you had an injury that had resulted in a significant amount of bleeding between your brain and your skull or around your brain that was causing a lot of pressure on your brain, then he would take you directly to the operating room, drill a hole in your head, and remove that blood to alleviate the pressure that's on your brain.
Well, when somebody comes in with severe head injury, we suspect high pressure in the brain. High pressure in the brain wouldn't allow blood flow to get there from the pressure of the heart, so that would lead to brain damage. We have ways of decreasing the pressure inside the brain with medical therapy if we know how high the pressure is. And one of the ways we can do that is using an intracranial pressure monitor. This is a real-time digital device that is inserted into the substance of the brain through a small hole in the skull, and it gives us a readout instantaneously of how high the pressure is inside the head.
So once you've sustained a head injury, what is the average length of time that you spend in here, and where do you go afterwards?
Well, it's different for everybody because head injuries vary from patient to patient. It depends a little bit whether you required surgery to remove a blood clot and whether you need healing from that surgery or whether it's more of just a severe concussion. But generally, most patients that do come to the intensive care unit are here for a few weeks. After that, they tend to spend a little bit of time on the regular ward, and then they're sent over to the rehab department.
So what's the comparative price between, buying a ski helmet or the cost of a head injury?
Well, generally, when you're talking about a month in the hospital or more, including rehab, the price can easily reach $500,000 or more. Something that Greg touched on is that once the brain is injured, it's very hard to get any kind of recovery. The recovery that we see in the brain injured patients is really the reduction of swelling, but the injured cells are lost and lost forever.
Come on in here, Ben. If you're going to learn about rehab, I think it'd be a great idea for you to try this thing out. This is a wheelchair, not unlike the ones that a lot of people with head injuries spend a lot of time in. So let's try this. Can you push it yourself? Okay, let's go in here into this kitchen. Ben, this is a kitchen that's set up for a person in a wheelchair, just like you're doing right now. And if you want to try something, I want you to get a drink from the sink over there.
Okay.
You can get your legs underneath the sink. It's not like your sink at home where the trash can's in the cabinet underneath. You've got to be able to get your legs in there in order to make it work. There you go. And if you were going to have a bowl of soup today, you could come over here and probably still reach those dishes. People who have head injuries very often can't walk initially or can't walk very well, or maybe they've had a spinal cord injury and may never walk again, and have to change their whole house to accommodate their normal living.
Yeah. Be tough in a regular house.
Dean, I wondered if you wouldn't mind just explaining to Ben what a typical rehabilitation from a head injury would entail, and specifically maybe within this particular room.
Well, Ben, as you see around us here, we do have the equipment and the space to address the needs of persons who have been seriously injured from a variety of causes, but certainly among them are the kinds of high-velocity injuries to the brain.
Do you find that people with head injuries often get extremely frustrated and don't feel like they can contribute to society anymore? And
That's a very good point, Ben, and that surely does occur. A lot of persons do make recoveries sufficient to allow them to be active participants, but not really at the level that they had seen for themselves before the injury. And I look at the faces of individuals whose lives are just blossoming, until something unforeseen, like a terrible head injury occurs that just pretty much wipes the slate clean and requires that they start over and perhaps have to rework all their life's goals.
Well, one of the best stories I can tell is one of an incredible survivor who just a couple years ago here at Snow Bowl in Missoula was snowboarding and went over a jump on a cat road and was run over by, struck actually the grooming machine that they use at Snow Bowl. And it ran over his head and his neck and his shoulder. I came out and told the family, he's going to be okay. He is kind of busted up and he's got a lot of bruises and whatever, but he's going to be okay. They were so grateful. They were, oh, thank you so much. You're so wonderful here. You've done such a great job. And it was like, no. The real hero of the day is the guy who bought him that helmet for Christmas,
but now they've gone back to a republic of economic, more or less, freedom and opposing, although not quite so. But their flag's still red, and this refers to Russia. And this is the red horse is Russia. And Russia's got a great sword. It's a thermonuclear sword, nuclear weapon, and they will take peace from the earth. That they're allied with Iran and Iraq, whereas the United States is allied with Israel, and this will cause a polarization, which when Saddam is assassinated in the UN and New York nuked, this will cause the Armageddon. What's the next horse that he sees? A black horse. It's just like the white horse, except it's just the opposite. It's devoid of all light. And this represents an imitation of the white horse, an imitation of the world order of Baha'u'llah. These four horses represent four world orders. The white horse is the world order of the kingdom of God, of the revelation of Baha'u'llah. The red horse is the world order that Russia would have had as communist, or that they'd have as this union of socialist republics. And the black horse is a world order imitation of Baha'u'llah's plan. What could it be? It says that there's a balance in his hand, and a voice was heard saying, "Do not harm oil and wine, and a price of wheat for a denarius, and a price of barley for a denarius." Well, nobody uses denarius anymore. We have the dollar bill and stuff like this. But they do use the denarius in Iraq. And this refers to the United Nations as that black horse with the balance of justice in its hand. It's an imitation of the House of Justice. In front of it, stamped in stone, it says, "The House of the Lord, which the nations will flow to." Well, it ain't the House of Justice. Therefore, it's a black horse in this type of a way. It's all negative. Another way that makes it a black horse is in a political race, the dark horse is a candidate that's falling behind, whereas two front runners might be vying for power to split the party. So what they do is they both step down and they endorse the dark horse that was way back there and make him the front runner. And this was FDR's idea in imitating Baha'u'llah's plan, that all the nations which was vying for power would step down, and the dark horse of the UN would become the leadership. And now it's still being promoted as this dark horse candidate in the New World Order of Bush and Clinton. So either way you look at it, it's a dark horse. And it says a grain of wheat for a denarius, barley for a denarius. This refers to the sanctions that it illegally imposes against a third world power such as Iraq. The milk for babies costs a lot of denarius, is the money they use there. And they're starving the people out with these sanctions. This is what the denarius refers to. And then it says not to oil and wine. The oil in Iraq. And the wine refers to the religions that the people have become corrupt on. This wine is again reference to the seat of the beast, which is in New York City. And New York City is said to be the winepress of the wrath of God, because they've broken this covenant. And the war will be fought over oil and wine, oil and religion. And because of the sanctions imposed against Iraq, Iraq will retaliate and nuke New York City, which will be this winepress of the wrath of God. And the last horse of the apocalypse, the pale horse,